Hey, it's Julian Gordon here, and welcome back to the Build Momentum 28-Day Challenge. Today, I want to talk about how to be a great leader in your personal and professional life. If you aren't leading your life, then you have to ask yourself who actually is. And so, we want to start off with self-leadership, and then we want to work our way up. So, I have a very simple framework that I created for you called the 4 levels of leadership. And the first level of leadership starts with self-leadership. You know, just because you have freedom of choice doesn't mean that you're actually the one making the choices that you have. A lot of people think they're thinking, but really what they're doing is regurgitating other thoughts, other people's thoughts, other institutions' thoughts. They've been influenced by other things, and they think that they're thinking independently, but it's really just a program that's playing out from other people's thoughts that implanted those things in them. And so you don't become an actual leader until you access original thought within yourself, original, authentic, uninfluenced thought. And so we want to get there. Now, where most of us start off on our journey for whatever reason is we all start in a space of self-doubt. I can't do it. I don't know how to do it. Why would anybody follow me? That's where we usually start. And that starting point usually has to do with different deficiencies in us or perceived deficiencies of not enoughness or I'm too much. I'm not smart enough. I'm not good enough. I'm not charismatic enough. I'm too little. I'm too big. I'm too old. I'm too young. These insecurities that we have when we look at the world and we compare ourselves to others, they usually stop us from stepping into our true power. And so many of us start our journey off in a space. Actually, we don't start off in self-doubt. We're born fully confident that we're here for a reason. And through socialization, we actually move to a space of self-doubt. And so in order to be a self-leader and move from self-doubt to become a self-leader, we have to have one belief, the belief that one, it's you believing in you. Not waiting for somebody else to believe in you, not waiting for parents or teachers or bosses or friends to believe in you, but you actually getting the belief from deep down within yourself. And from there, you start to think, I can do it. I can do it. So that's self-leadership, and that's the first stage. The next stage is actually inspiration. And inspiration is great, but a lot of people get stuck on inspiration. That's why I don't call myself an inspirational speaker, because inspiration, it works for a moment, but it's kind of like a high. You kind of shoot up on inspiration, and then the inspiration fades, and you're right back where you were. And so it's necessary, right? But it's not the highest level that you can get to. So and inspiration, this is where you have stepped into self-leadership and now you're leading others, and there are followers who are looking to you for guidance and for direction. So the belief is that others are believing in you, right? Because they see you move from self-doubt to self-leadership, and now they're believing in you. And the thought is, Julian can do it, but I can't do it, right? So now they're looking to you. They look up to you almost like a god, which is not what you ultimately want. Because if you go back to my definition of what a real leader is somebody who creates other leaders. Not who has a ton of followers, but who creates other leaders. So a lot of people get stuck on inspiration, and inspiration, you can get high off of inspiration. If you're the one who's the inspiration, your ego can get fed by that because you got all these people who are looking up to you, right? But that's not ultimately what you want, and that's not how we create transformation in the world. And so the next level is actually more powerful, which is motivation, right? And motivation is where you are a self-leader, but those people who were once followers, they've moved from self-doubt to self-leadership, and now they are starting to lead their own lives. And so it's others believing in themselves the way they believe in you. And so the thought for them is, if Julian can do it, I can do it too. And that's an amazing thought, right? Because now you've not just inspired them, you've actually motivated them to take action. Inspiration is kind of a feeling, right? But if that emotion doesn't turn into actual motion in their lives, then they're going to be stuck in the follower state, right? And so we want to move people to a state of motivation where they're actually taking action and externalizing these feelings that they have in their life. But that's not it. That's not the final step. The final step is actually a movement. And in a movement, you'll find something very different here, right? Whereas you look to stage 1, you see the colorful Y, which is you. Stage 2, the colorful Y, which is you. And stage 3, the colorful Y, which is you. In stage 4, in a movement, there is no colorful Y. There is no more you. In stage 4, the movement does not depend on you. See, a lot of movements that existed in the past, when the leader, something happens to the leader, they get old and they pass on, or they die for whatever reason, or they transition, or they leave their role, or something like that. What happens to the movement? It fades. And that's because it wasn't really a movement. It was actually an inspirational leader who was carrying a whole bunch of followers. And so that's not what we want either. And so in a real movement, there is no you. What you have is self-leaders who are now leading themselves and others. And the belief is it's others believing in each other the way they believe in themselves. So it's no longer about you being at the center of attention and everybody looking to you for guidance and direction. Now it's others leading and believing in each other the way they believe in themselves. So who used to be your followers now say, if I can do it, then I know that these people around me can do it too. And that's where you ultimately want to move people, whether it's in your personal life or it's in your professional life. And so given that, I want you to recognize that in different areas of our lives, we are either leading or following, right? We're either leading or following. Even if you don't feel like you're a leader whatsoever, guess what? There is somebody who you could lead, right? Because there's somebody who was where you were. And usually there's always somebody who's ahead of you, not in terms of a race, but somebody who you can look to for guidance and direction in the different areas of your life. So that's what this next worksheet is about. It's your leadership team. Right? And so your leadership team is looking at the various areas of your life, and you can create the other areas in the last 4 columns, the last 5 rows, if there are other areas of your life that I did not capture here. So in my area of love and marriage, you know what? I know I'm not the expert. I know I have room for improvement. And so whoever I've been looking to, who has been leading me in this area, it's been my friends and married husbands that I meet along the way. Like the taxi cab driver that I had who was married for 30 years. I was trying to soak up the game from him. And so do I need help in this area? Yeah, I do. I wish I had somebody who I could call on a more regular basis, but right now I'm relying on friends and married husbands that I meet along the way. Spirituality, who's leading me? I look up to Michael Beckwith, Pastor Greg. I watch videos from Muji online. And so do I need help in this area? I'm getting really fed by these 3 people. And so my answer is no for right now. In the area of money and wealth, who do I look up to? I look up to Frank. I look up to Jay. I look to my accountant for guidance in terms of my financial life. And so these are who I consider the leaders in this area of my life. And I don't need any real support in this area right now. In the area of family and kids, in terms of me being a better father, who do I look to? I look to fathers who are at my daughter's school for guidance in terms of how they manage, how they connect with their daughters or their sons, and what they do on weekends and things of that nature. And I do believe that I need more help in this area so that I can be a father. I have this perception to me that I'll be a great father when she's old enough to play soccer and I can coach her soccer team and things like that. Sometimes when I'm with her on weekends, because she's so small, I don't know what to do with her. And so I'm getting help in that area, and mothers have also been helping me as well. In the area of health and wellness, do I need help? I need tons of help here. I know I need to eat better. I know I need to have a fitness plan. I know I need a doctor and a dentist. And so I don't have any guidance in this area. I'm not looking to anybody. And so as somebody who is seeking to grow in this area but doesn't have a leader, there's an opportunity for me to find somebody to guide me in this area. In the area of food and fitness, I look to a good friend named Dale, who is a fitness guru, and I look at his Facebook posts. I've talked to him about it as well. He has some meal planning tools that are out there, but I do need additional help in this area because he does not live here, and I wish I had somebody in Brooklyn to guide me in my food life in this area. Education, none for me right now. I'm not deficient in any area. I'm not like getting an F in any area that I'm seeking to be good at. And so I'm fine there. Politics, I'm not that interested really. So no guidance there. For those who are really into the election, you might need somebody to guide you and help you make decisions around your votes and how you move in terms of policy. And then in the area of home and car improvement, I rely on my mechanic Herbie and my good friend Rudy, who lives down the street. So I don't really need any help in that area. But you may have other areas of your life that you need help in, or that you have leaders in, and you can just put those down in the last 5 rows. So this is what this is really about. This is kind of understanding who your leadership team is, who you look to for guidance, who is ahead of you, not in terms of a race, but in terms of who you can learn from. But guess what? Like I said, whether you know it or not, you are also leading other people. Even if it's just younger people, you are also leading other people. So on the next page, I encourage you to look at all the leadership roles that you do have. For me, husband, father, son, brother, uncle, friend, entrepreneur, mastermind group leader, build board member, real estate investor, right? So these are the various hats that I wear. So who is looking to me for leadership, right? My daughter, she looks for me to leadership in terms of morality, what's right and what's wrong. She looks to me for learning the alphabet, numbers, and things of that nature. And then do I still find this joyful? Yes. And the reason we ask a joyful question, because sometimes we're in leadership roles that we don't find joyful anymore. And we need to have conversations about those so that we can actually pass on or open up the opportunity for somebody else to lead in that area. How do I lead in terms of my wife? I lead in finances. She leads the relationship in terms of emotion, and I'm trying to grow in that area. But she looks to me for guidance when it comes to finance, right? And I find that joyful. I like working with money. Um, my mother, I'm actually leading her in finances. I've become power of attorney, and I'm actually managing her finances. And sometimes that's joyful, sometimes it's not. But for the most part, it's okay. Then I have my mastermind members. And where do I lead them? I lead them in the area of business growth. Teach them how to grow their business at an accelerated rate. And I love doing that. I find absolute joy there. Then, of course, there are my students. In addition to my mastermind members, students who I speak to at colleges, students who are watching this video, who are on my email list, students who are taking my online courses, and I really push them in terms of personal growth and development, right? And I love doing this kind of work. In terms of the Build Board, the nonprofit that we're raising money for, I lead those individuals and with my guidance and insight around urban education, because that's where I started after I finished at UCLA. I was working in an educational nonprofit for 2 years. I love doing that. My coaching clients, I lead them in terms of lifestyle design. And then finally, my real estate partners, I usually am the one who is managing the finances in that area as well. So these are my leadership roles, and this is how people look to me for leadership. And I'm finding all of these joyful, so I don't need to make any changes here. But there have been times where I've been on nonprofit boards where I was leading and I didn't find it joyful, and now I'm no longer on that particular board. So there may be some leadership roles that you just need to let go. You may feel that they're obligation or that they're a responsibility, but you always have the power to empower someone else to step into that role. If you are holding it and you're not finding joy there, then it's on you to actually create a leader and create an opportunity for someone to step into leadership by getting out of the way. So that's what this section is about. It goes in conjunction with the 2017 theme, which is the year of leadership. And so it's really evaluating who's leading you and who are you leading so that you're aware of those things and see opportunities where you can actually have more leadership in your life in terms of who you look to and where you can actually grow as a leader or leadership roles that you need to release. So I hope you found this helpful. And again, it's Julian Gordon signing off and wishing you more happy hours. Peace.